velociraptor kind of thing.
It's up like a velociraptor?
Kind of thing.
Let's see how he's looking. Let me show him. Because I just went live. So here I am live on Soul Wars Day. My son is painting his very first ever blood demon.
It's a blood letter demon.
Fine, it's a blood letter demon. He decided he wanted to run a Khorne army. So he is in the process of giving this good
making
coverage.
My first guy.
Yes,
ever.
Your first guy. All right. So anyway, today is the release of Age of Sigmar Soul Wars. My daughter is presently working on one of her Croxagores. Here,
It's really wet. So.
Well, it's still really wet. She is currently painting one of her Croxagores for her Seraphon army. And she's across the table from me. So anyway, I am going to be doing this for a little while anyway. I'm going to open up my Soul Wars box here live in just a moment or two. And then I'm going to, I don't know, I can't imagine anybody's going to have any questions, but if you do, I can try to answer them. And I'm going to appreciate you guys tuning in to watch us do our thing here today. Of course, this will be saved on my channel, so it'll be after the fact as well. So, yes, Charles. Yes, I'm going to put together my night haunts today, and then I'm going to, I brought Prime. I brought my Corax White to prime them, and hopefully maybe I can paint a few of those today. Because we're here for possible. But anyway, so I got my Soul Wars box. I actually got this early. Lucky enough, I was, we'll just leave it at that. I was lucky enough to get mine a little bit early, but then I didn't open it. I was gonna
save it for.
I was gonna open it early and I was gonna put them together, but then I was like, well, I don't want to like ruin the fun or whatever. I don't want to.
So you want to do it on a YouTube video? Yay!
That's enough. You paint your Khorne demons.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're gonna do that now, and see, I've never been a fan of Stormcast. I don't know, and maybe it's just because they seem to be the darling of so many people for some reason. I don't know. Is anybody else? There's some other people here. They're not paying any attention now, and they're more than welcome to yell or talk if they want to over there. But
blood for the blood god.
Blood for the blood god, and
skulls for the skull throne.
Yes, skulls for the skull throne. So, all right. So I'm gonna open this, and I've already kind of seen the pictures of what this looks like. So, this is they've done a really good job of like the art. I would love this as a poster. Actually, I think this, even if it has. I would rather these were like Nurgle demons over here instead of Stormcast, but you can't always get what you want. But I understand Stormcast are kind of the, if you will.
Or a good one. They're good armies.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good armies.
But I know you get the hardcover, the new core book, which is going to have all like the legend stuff. I'll look through that. I'll probably actually do a video on that right there. This has got all my models in it. You pay attention to what you're doing, son.
Okay.
And I believe this is like the different battles, so you can set up like you can go through the narrative battles and what have you. I do have the General's Handbook at home. I didn't bring that, but it actually has the narrative thing. And this has the War Scroll cards for the new models, which that's one of the things about GW that I don't understand. Well, I mean, a lot of people always say they don't understand why they do the certain things that they do, but I don't understand why, like, Seraphon have, like, literally, like, 36 different models. Why don't they have War Scroll cards? They just don't. And we know?
And then, like, the newer armies, they already have them.
Well, yeah, or, like, they had War Scroll cards for, like the Savage Aurochs, the Bone Splitters, and there's, like, 12 models, and then like Beast Claw Raiders get War Scroll cards, and there's like 8 models for the Beast Claw Raiders. Maybe because it's cheap and easy to make.
8 models?
You know,
I don't know, but they really missed an opportunity with not making all of them.
Well, and you wouldn't think it wouldn't take too much, would you, Jared? I mean, it would just be one of those things where it'd be like you just put the art on there and copy and paste the print, right? And just set it up. I mean, that just seems like that's how they do it. But you would think that people would be more than willing to fork over their cash, because it's so much easier to have a War Scroll card in front of you during a battle than it is to like go get open a book and have that.
Oh, that's why I've got Battle Scribe.
Yeah. Or
Don't
have
you want
your.
anything down for all your paint lines?
No, I'm not that messy, and they got their stuff, so they're rolling. Thank you, though, Jared.
Yep.
Of course, now I can't figure out how to open this. No,
It should open from the front.
you open from the front. Oh, thank you.
Yep, they do it in all their boxes now. It's weird.
So yeah, Jared just told me how to open it.
Is that Charles Fox you're talking to?
It is Charles Fox that I'm talking to. Are you familiar with Charles Fox?
He knows me as Cosmic People.
Cosmic Cubicle Charles Fox. Apparently, you are a
Cosmic Cubicle fan.
bunch of bases. So now here's the deal, and I don't know if people agree. So these look cool, and these are the snap to fit models, and they still look good, but I don't know. They seem. I don't know. It's like they've gone to a different mold process, in my opinion. It's like this stuff seems just. I don't know. I don't know. It feels less defined than earlier GW stuff. And I might be completely wrong. I mean, it still looks good, but I think that they've kind of moved to a different.
Never.
What's wrong?
You don't even know what you're talking about. You're just prattling over there. So, but anyway, so I still think these models are really good. Oh, Charles Fox says that they want people to buy the books and then the War Scrolls. So if you'll just buy the War Scrolls, they feel like they can avoid buying the books. But then you wouldn't get like the battalion and the allegiance abilities and stuff like that. So I don't know. Who knows? What do I know? I don't pretend to know anything.
I wish that that they first they finished all the War Scrolls and everything that other armies are missing before they added more armies. Like
Before they added more armies,
yeah.
like the Ideneth Deepkin and stuff.
Yeah, I wish that they finished, like they added War Scrolls to Seraphon before they added more armies. Because, I mean, Deepkin already has their War Scrolls.
Yeah? Okay.
But, whereas Seraphon, they're an older army, but they don't have that.
Well, they were the Lizard Men before. And then,
Now they're Seraphon.
no, they're called the Seraphon. Which, of course, the whole reason behind that is that they want to be able to trademark the names. And they don't want to, so, all right. So I have all my parts for my Night Haunts. So I'm going to put those together. And hooray! I get dice. Yay, dice.
They match my dinosaurs.
And then I don't think they sent instructions in here somewhere on how to put these dice.
That'd be weird if they don't.
It'd be very weird if they didn't.
Slot A goes into hole B.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Well, I got a sample chapter for the Soul Wars book. I don't really care about that either. So I'll put that back there. So I'm guessing, as I knock the lights around here, maybe the instructions to put them in are in here.
I don't
It
know
looks
that.
like it. Yeah, it is, because it's two books here. So,
I wonder when I'm going to finish.
other than that, yep, here we go.
Why can't I paint this guy's armpit?
Well, get your,
Like, angle it.
yeah, angle
I am.
it in there.
What color should I do?
Now, so they have gone to full color on the instructions. And I noticed this with Ideneth as well. The thing is that I think that's obviously a lot better because then you can actually see like the new parts that slide in and snap in to the different places.
What?
So that's cool. So which, you know, there are, I remember I picked up some Forge World models in at Origins, and they just don't give you any instructions. They're just like, yeah, figure it out.
Yep.
But it's pretty they're pretty much, those aren't super difficult to determine though. All right, so
Super duper big.
yeah, they are super duper big. Well, not everything they have is super duper big, but they are resin, however. All
They're
right.
big. And so you got
They are heavy. Yes. How's your stuff coming in?
Good. I'm probably gonna have to apply a second coat because the stuff.
Well, isn't that what Warhammer TV says? Two thin coats. So you can make sure you have.
Do you think my thing is ready for
Let me see here. Let me see here.
2 thin coats.
2 thin coats.
See where you have some buildup of paint in certain spaces, buddy. So we're gonna clean off our brush a little bit here, and we're gonna thin off some of the excess paint. What we're gonna do is then we're gonna let this first coat dry,
And then make it a second coat.
and then put a second coat, and then we can start.
Ah, got it.
And then we can start picking out the details and doing like painting a sword and doing all the other things. So I'm going to,
Like when you like it.
and you can go ahead and grab another demon while this one
Tries.
dries. You can go ahead and start another one. But anyway, so Age of Sigmar 2.0. I kind of perused the rules a bit. I think that they're going to. I think the big change is obviously the summoning rules, and also the turns. How they're going to determine.
The turns.
Quit a parrot. Want to be quiet over here? You don't have to repeat everything I say. No, so like how the turns work as far as used to with who goes first and second and what have you. The other thing is I mentioned summoning. Like summoning, you don't have to set aside points because I think they realized that nobody was doing summoning anymore because there was no point not having everything on the field as it was instead of waiting. So, could you hand me a pair of snips there, buddy, or Rylan? I did not pay $20 for the Citadel snips. Do you think they're that much better? Anybody think the Citadel snips are worth $20?
Oh yeah.
Really?
They're actually, we have 2 pairs.
But are they worth it? Like, what is
Are they-
different between the other ones?
Are they $15 better?
They're good enough. I had 1 pair for 4 years, and when they broke, the spring broke, they replaced them without question.
Well, yeah, but I'm not. Their customer service we've already determined is fairly
Right,
good.
but they're lifetime on the tools.
All right, but
Well,
are
yeah,
they like that much better? Is what I'm asking.
Yes, I think they are. I get cleaner cuts. They stay sharper longer. I've never had to sharpen them or anything.
But they're
I've
still
been using the same
$15.
Zeron ones for 2 years.
Zeron.
XURON.
Oh, is that from
It
Krypton?
sounds like an enemy from like Galaga or something.
I don't know.
Galaga.
Maybe.
And it's from the model train stuff.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not going to tell other people what they should spend their money on. So just if you think that the GW snips are awesome, then you should use the GW snips.
But we do not fully pay off.
No, I think these cost me like $6 at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say how much mine costs.
Because they were a lot of my.
$1.
One-
Charles Fox says he uses Primitive Press. When they
1
die, I go
second
Citadel
at
and
the
I found the mini one clips closer to the screw, better and sharper. Well, Charles, fine, you win. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the Knight of Shrouds. No, I don't understand. See, this is one of the things that kind of bugs me. So it's like they had that one model, the Knight of Shrouds, that came out with the beginning of the Malign Portents thing. They had the 4 models. They had that the weird like goblin that had the mushroom on his head, like Stink Mullet or something was his name. And then they had the Knight of Shrouds, which was a new like Nighthaunt General. And there was a Chaos model for like the Dark Oath Queen or something like that, which was like a female Khorne model, I think. if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Oh, and then there was a new Stormcast, of course. So they had to have a new Stormcast. So, but the Knight of Shrouds, then they give you another thing with Knight of Shrouds on Skeletal Steed. So it's like, I don't know. I don't get that. Other than the fact that they just want you to buy
More
another,
money.
buy another one, I guess. But I don't know. Being able, like, well, I guess like the Seraphon. I mean, like you have the Saurus Old Blood on that can walk around, but then they sell the
One on Carnosaur.
the Carnosaur that has the Saurus Sunblood on Carnosaur. So I don't know. I mean, I guess options for match play and whatever. I always wonder. I mean, obviously, like most people play by points. I mean, I don't know. Does anybody actually play non-points? Jared, do you play non-points?
I've never met anybody that can honestly say they have.
Okay. Well, see, there you go. I mean, maybe there's somebody out there that just like they throw a bunch of models on the table. Yeah. But yeah, like so that's and I think people in a lot of ways they play the points because they want to be able to complain about when it's not fair.
Yep.
I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I do think people like to that. Okay, now put some water on your brush, and you see where it's like really thick. The paint's really thick in spots, buddy.
Take the extra.
Yeah, take the extra off, and so you can get rid of that stuff.
And it also helps spread it.
And you can always
Wow, it's turning pink.
well, it's not. It's supposed to. The corn base is like it's supposed to be kind of like a magenta or whatever. So, but there you go. So I don't know what to think about these push to fit guys. I guess it's probably easier to get these together. I don't think there's no way they're gonna all go to this eventually, but I don't know. Once again, I just think that these new models just seem
Weird.
they just seem less defined in a weird way. I don't know. You don't even know what you're talking about, Kelly.
That's the door.
So, Lance,
What's up, Jared?
the big thing with the push to fits, honestly, is you don't need glue.
Yeah, but they actually let's live in the forest. No, yeah, but
Or at least that's what they tell you.
then you watch Warhammer TV and you see those guys and they are
Moving on.
gluing them together.
Yeah, I know. I
So-
didn't say it makes sense.
I think that you should probably glue them together so then they don't fall apart as easily.
Oh, I'll be gluing these together.
That's fine.
Well, at least they
Okay.
haven't gone the way that the Dungeons and Dragons miniatures have gone, where everything's pre-assembled and pre-painted.
Yeah.
What?
Let me see. You see how look at his face, buddy. You see how like he can't really tell what's on his face. So like get some water on your actually, why don't you see if your sister will get you some paper towels?
To dry it.
No, just not dry that. Just put the model down. Put the model down for right now.
Yeah, do everything else first, and then we can find the next one.
And then I bought on I sell the same model twice. Once as a name care, once as a generic. Oh, man. That's true. They do that, Charles. All right. So these
Team model kill.
no, you're not putting that on the model. He's using that to dry off his
Oh.
brush. What are you thinking? You don't so
You don't dry models with paper.
You sometimes do that.
you sometimes do if you can correct your mistake quickly. All right, so buddy, so like you see how his face is all kind of obliterated? You can use the dry brush to take some of that excess paint off, and then you can smear it off on
Wipe
there.
it off. Quarter off.
Badger, guys. Badger,
Korgoroth, Rylan, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
is a corn monster.
Yeah, I keep mixing up that with the Croxivores. They sound the same. Well, not really, but they kind of sound the same.
Croxigore.
All right, so buddy, go grab another one of your corn demons.
Diamonds.
I'll do this big guy
No, let's leave him. Let's leave him for a little while.
for last.
And hey, you watch out. You see where your hand was going right over this big paint pot? Make sure that you don't.
I'll grab this guy with the horn.
Yep, there you
Don't join the Null Oil Club.
go. Where you dip it all over and
You haven't
same.
seen those pictures?
No, but I was there at Warhammer a while back, and I think it was Dylan like spilled an entire pot of Reichland flesh shade.
Oh.
You know, it was just there's $8.
There goes my
Once you start
$8.
blocking everything you can with it.
Yeah. So, and of course I cut the wrong piece off. I needed F2, not F3.
Time to drive
You pay attention to what you're doing. If I will make you switch with your sister here pretty soon if you don't.
Do I need skink? Stink blue? Skink blue. Oh, no, you said stink blue.
Casting.
Stink blue.
Rylan, did you put 2 coats on?
I did. I'm waiting for it to dry. I was just seeing what kind of driver chain.
No, I see you still have 1 crossguard left to do. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Why are you
You,
singing You're Welcome?
he's,
Acting.
before that he was singing No,
Macho Man's.
no, he was singing The Lion King before that. There, that's what you were singing. So, yeah. So the push to fit, it's supposed to you're supposed to just take them and, all right, so you have these 2 pieces.
Open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. Relax the sky. Tacos. No need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes.
So you can push fit.
It's raining tacos. From out of the sky. Tacos. No need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
What is that from?
It's just a song.
That
really
we
weird.
randomly heard on a game.
Do not sing.
No,
Song.
don't give him an idea.
What song?
I'm not gonna say.
What?
You should.
So
know
the push
this.
to fit actually, obviously they work really well because they have a
Cheeky, cheeky.
No.
you can see in there, you can see that they have the spots. No, a lot of times when you're putting together models, they you just have 2 flat surfaces, and you can kind of tell how they go together. But a lot of times the instructions don't really explain really well. So you have these open spots like that, and then you have these. I don't know if you can see those pegs. So you can see the peg sticking up. You have those little pegs sticking up. So those make it a lot easier, obviously, to put this together. And actually, I'm going to adjust the. You don't have to stare at my face anymore. I'm going to push this down and adjust the camera a little bit so you can actually see what I'm working on. Ugh, like so. And that way, you can. My son can stop being on 11 and relax a little bit. And I'll put this over here so I can look at this. Shh, both of you.
Okay.
Need to be quiet. Anyway, so I don't normally use the plastic glue. I just seem to have bad experiences with it, but with these push to fit, I've had good experience with it. I am a huge, I'm a much bigger fan of gel, plastic, just Loctite gel super glue. Just see that stuff seems to work a lot better. But this is the stuff that actually kind of melts the plastic a little bit, and then they form together. And I've had a lot of people just swear by this stuff, but like I said, I've not had a lot of really good luck with it. So
Instead you swear at it.
yeah, I don't know. What do you use when you put stuff together, bud?
Uh,
You probably use some weird
off-brands.
Industrial solvent sometimes.
Yes, actually.
So, what's your name again?
Jason.
Jason. So Jason's here, and Jason like paints like
Extremely good.
extremely good, like commission level painting, and does amazing jobs. And so like, you know, I ask him like, oh, this, that, and other thing, and like for him, I think painting is kind of a way of life.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's your thing.
It's what I do to relax.
Yeah. So whereas I paint when I'm able to and when I can find some time, and I think the Loctite gel is just because you can buy it anywhere. For me, that's why I end up using it. Well, like you, Charles, as you just said, you know. So, but my understanding is that like the stuff that actually melts the glue to the plastic together ultimately works better. You know, because of the fact that, like I said, you are actually melting the stuff together. The one thing about these Nighthawk models is that they have all of these really thin, spindly pieces. And I mean, so thin that like you are not going to be able to pin those together to save your life. You know, after, well, I suppose if you found a really tiny
Paperclip.
yeah, or something to pin them together. So I don't know. I obviously foam and stuff. I am a big fan of like having magnet carry cases and stuff like that, where like the models don't move and they don't touch anything else. So ultimately, that's what I'm going to do to get my Nighthawk stuff around. But yeah, I am not a fan of this like super tiny stuff. So
Yeah, the solvent that I use is a blend of methylene chloride and toluene.
methylene chloride and what?
Toluene.
Toluene?
Yeah,
Do you like make that yourself?
I do.
Okay, so
How can you make a paint by yourself?
so Jason apparently also I need to worry about him making fertilizer bombs in his garage or something. Yes. No, like I said,
Fertilizer bombs?
but it does give me actually, hey Rich, the
I have tabletop some parchment paper, but I forgot to
I'm
bring it.
painting.
oh, you're okay,
So it
brother,
looks
right?
like everything's working out so far with the.
You got it. So the voice you're hearing now, live streamers, is that is Richard Early, the owner and proprietor of Paradox Comics and Cards. You went to a movie today?
Yeah, I did. I went to Jurassic World at 10 o'clock with my
Is it good?
future brother-in-law and future nephew, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
How was it?
It was fun. It's kind of like two movies crammed together. I really liked the first half of it, and the second half was sort of eh.
Yeah.
I have heard that from a few people,
Yeah.
that it loses focus and what have you.
But it does set up another one that is something,
Of course it does.
but in a better way than the ham-fisted way they tried to do it once upon a time. I can't, I don't want to give spoilers, So.
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
Well, it transitions well with the Pokemon Go style game that they're doing with it now.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, is
Spoiler
that
alert.
the?
That's a
So
I'm take your picture.
Well,
I heard that they're making a
well, and I got a buddy and his son showing up here to paint in a little bit.
Dana and Jared are out in the other room, but I don't know if they're coming over to.
There's too many Jared down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too many Jareds. But anyway, so like I said, I'm a big believer in like as far as with the big thing is that I've had a few people say this is that so the new snap to fit though, like, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. Hopefully they'll come in like, but okay, so where like this part of the horse and matches up, you can see there's that huge line there. So you're going to have to, okay, you came in and view there really quick.
It's not my fault.
So you are going to have to use green stuff on this stuff. Well, if you care, about.
Get rid of
I
the
decided I was-
Yes, you should. So that was my son painting his blood demons. But so you're going to need the green stuff for these models if you care about the mold lines and the what have you. So it depends on whether or not that's going to bother you or not. So.
Yeah, they did a really good job on that set.
The new stuff, it looks fantastic, as I like to say.
Jinx.
Jinx. You can't jinx me on fantastic.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, so
Jinx people on any word.
on any word. Okay. So when are they gonna come over and play 40K? I saw your little brother was setting it up, Rich.
Yes.
Good answer.
I just walked to the door, so I don't have good answer.
Oh, I suppose you are fresh from the movie. Did you have popped corn? Did you have I don't know what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say
You
something
have
else.
Dr. Pepper with it.
Did you have
I can
pepper
remember
and doctors
as a story that has nothing to do with anything. So like there was a Simpsons episode or something where they talked about having like ordering butter popcorn and then halfway through putting milk duds in there and then putting popcorn on top. Like they made a joke about that. And so I had a buddy who said, next time we go to a movie, I'm gonna do that as a joke, right? And so then he did it and he said it tasted amazing. And so now that he does it every single time he goes to the movie.
He just has them stop halfway through. Hold on.
Yeah.
Pour these on.
Yeah, he goes, I want a large popcorn and milk and milk duds. And so then he has them fill it up, put butter, and then they drop the milk duds inside the middle of the bucket of popcorn, and then he puts the popcorn on top of it.
Well, they sold at Marcus for a while. They sold popcorn with M&Ms as an upgrade.
That's good.
So
I don't know if I could get behind that one.
I kind of dug it, but I'm a horrible person. So.
Ah.
Well, cows are horrible people too.
Cows are not even people.
That's why they're horrible at being people.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, that stands to reason then, doesn't it?
Yeah, your brother hooked me up with a box for my stuff. So.
Sure.
And cats are
Because we
especially
decided
bad
that you
at doing
didn't
it.
want tables
All right,
that were half
so
black and
this
half
is
white.
also the fun thing. Hey, Isaac.
a good solution.
I'll answer any questions, Isaac, you have about Crusader King, the board game. I did a recent review of that, and I think it's still in Kickstarter. So, Isaac, if you have questions about that, go ahead. Right now, I'm just putting together models
Hey, Rich, I'm
for
gonna
Soul
Kickstarter
Wars.
stop.
Pre-order started?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, ask away, Isaac, if you have questions about, or anything else game related, you guys can ask. But this is like also like inevitably whenever I'm putting together models, I'm always like, where is this piece that I need to clip and I need to put together? And I always end up with that. So, and I think I just found it. There we go.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out for the fourth is.
And,
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, but
so, and you said,
God stinks.
well, you have a question, or you just want me to talk about Crusader Kings the board game? Well, I can just talk about Crusader Kings the board game too, if you
And I
want.
wouldn't, like, give them
So Crusader Kings, somebody once told me they were like, "Oh, the Crusader Kings, it's like the best game ever," and
And then you're like, yeah.
I don't know if there'll be any D&D tables that we'll only play Wednesday night.
and then I was like, hey, don't do that. You're gonna ruin the brush when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you just be gentle with the brush. Okay.
Well, actually, so we're still going to run tabletop nights.
It is not hard to explain to someone who has never played Crusader Kings 2. So Crusader Kings 2 is obviously one of the more involved, I guess would be the best way to describe it, computer games. Like there are several tutorial videos that basically say how to actually understand what you're doing with Crusader Kings, and those videos themselves are like an hour long. So it's a game that like you have to invest a lot of time in, but it's and depending upon the person, it'll end up being very worth it. Now, does
I'm doing my fourth guy.
that's awesome. So, with Crusader Kings, the board game, it is an involved game just because of the levels of the like the mechanisms themselves of it are a little in depth and what have you. But will you be able to convince people to play it? Yes. I mean, I kind of consider it if I had to. I mean, it has a lot of
Views.
I'm trying to remember. Like exactly, I'm trying to think of like what I could compare it to.
My other theory is our customers are
Like
all
think,
liberals
you know,
and
obviously there's going to be
terrified
some
right now,
area
so-
control stuff going on and things like that.
Then-
But I mean,
You know, I'm
it's
gonna be
it's
honest, I
much
never pay attention to what
it's a much more
I just know things I like and
straightforward.
don't like.
Like you're right in everybody's faces, kind of Game of Thrones, the board game, if you will, because it has the negotiation that goes on. It has the people interacting. So it'll get people in the thick of it because like you just depending upon the scenario also, but you'll end up being together and butting heads a lot faster in Crusader Kings 2.
Yeah, the one hand.
And I really like it because of just the like different aspects of it, like as far as the like getting married to like how the lineage works. I mean, like as far as the fact that you have like you have a legacy, right? So you start with your first king, and then you find a wife, and then you have children, and then as the game progresses, like it's possible that like your king could go off on the Crusades and be killed on the Crusades, and so then you have a line of succession and somebody comes up. But then if you have a child, then the child steps forth and becomes king. But also you're like there, if you live perfectly and like there's nothing that affects your lifespan, your first leader isn't going to survive. They're going to die just because they grow old and they die. And so then you have to make sure you have a good line of succession set up as well, which is it's one of the cooler aspects of the game, obviously, because it kind of tells a story and you kind of exist and you move forward. So I think it's a very, very, very good game, and I think it's an investment as far as that goes, but it's well worth the investment in my opinion. So I hope if you have any questions as far as Crusader Kings 2 or Crusaders Kings the board game, that helps a little bit. All right, so now these are the things when I'm putting together models that I really detest, like little tiny pieces like this that you have to get together. And
Because you have fat fingers.
I do have. I feel like I'm gonna break these things just holding on to them.
That's why you have slave children, right?
Yeah.
So their
Yes.
tiny hands.
Put these you with your little hands. No, I'm gonna get it. It's one of these things where it's like, it's just difficult to. It's bumping the table because he's moving back and forth and he can't sit still.
What?
That's you.
If you didn't know, Caleb.
No, there isn't.
No, because I started on model and I think the friends have it's not it.
Do you see another little boy in this
But
room?
now there's 7 different choices before 5
Yeah.
Right, you have
All
five
right.
guys.
So now then I take this piece. So, well, I did the video for it, Isaac. So I believe they're going to be sending me a copy. But even if they weren't, I would back it just because I'd want to be able to play it. And like I said, I think the game. Plus, I mean, what I had obviously I had the a more what's the word we're looking for here? My copy had a much more like I had prototype components. So I'm excited to see what it'll look like once it's done. So yeah, I definitely like if like I said, if they weren't going to send me a copy, I would be all over getting one myself. All right, why am I not? You see, this is also the thing. Is like these things are just like they become like a puzzle that you're trying to figure out. You're trying to put together, and then I get annoyed because I can't figure out said puzzle.
Because you can't figure out the puzzle.
Yes,
Which is what you just said.
that is exactly what I just said.
Jason, I found that the cheapest source of audiobooks for Warhammer is Audible, surprisingly.
Audible.com.
Yeah, they had a free 30-day trial, so I was sick of the Black Library app keep screwing up because on the Black Library app, you know how when you're listening to a podcast or something, Lance, and you get a push notification on your phone?
Yes, sir.
It gives you the notification tone and then keeps playing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Black Library app doesn't do that. It just stops.
It just stops.
Yes, like I said, it just stops.
and you have to manually restart it.
So let me get this straight. It just stops then?
Yes, it just stops.
They have a question. Does it stop?
No.
I have a question. Does it stop?
43 is the answer to your question. You asked the wrong question.
Well, if Isaac, if you're asking if you can interact with other player tokens, like can I take them away with that? You mean you do have battles and things like that, so you will be attacking them. You can, take over their castles. You can, you can actually like cause famine and the plague to affect their countries and things like that.
Kind of stuff.
Are they numbered the same?
There's no numbers on it.
So, yes, you definitely can affect the other players. I mean, it is. It's like it's
Yeah,
for
the backs are the same.
dominion of the of Europe during the Middle Ages. So, Syracuse does have that aspect.
The new ones are numbered.
And see, now here's something where like when you look at the like instructions, and the instructions actually look different than the what you actually have, and that's always annoying as well. It's just like, oh, I'll put this together. Yeah, I don't have that piece. Oh, because it must have been from an earlier mold, and they haven't changed what I have. Which it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you set it up, set me up to fail like that with these things? But oh well. Of course, I'm looking for the one piece. An F5. Red 5 standing by.
I have no idea what that means.
Red guard standing by. What?
Red 5. Yeah, he's
Red green standing by.
Red yellows.
Black flag standing by.
Black plague.
Flag.
But, there you go. So no, but this is the one aspect of this is like the part of tabletop that I honestly never thought I would be in. I never thought I would be. I remember going to conventions and seeing big rooms full of people playing 40K and like kind of being really
Nerds.
Yeah, no, not nerds. Like I remember being really impressed with their models and what they had done. But I was just like, I'm never going to have the time or the wherewithal to be able to do what they do. And I was like, it just felt like that. So the fact that I am like in this and I'm kind of like all in now. I have like I have a painting station in my basement that I've set up. You have so much extra paint on that guy. You have. And hey, remember, you don't jam it down. You just tap it back and forth.
Have you set up a display case yet?
No, and I'm not good enough at painting. I'm not going to have a display case. So I am.
You get a display case for the.
I am a complete hack, and and I am and I don't have any
muscles.
I don't have any what's what I'm looking for here. I am very firmly in the amateur or below level amateur world.
Just get one display case for that
You all
one
start
gargoyle.
somewhere.
That one gargoyle that I made.
There, perfect.
But there you go. So there you go. So I finally found the piece that I needed. So yeah, that's like the one thing I've always
I don't know people's names. So
get annoyed by is that like you
extra
have
large, not extra large, tall, right?
these guys come together actually really well. Yeah, one more piece, then he's together. Now, like back in the day, like this skeleton guy, he probably would have been twice as many pieces to put all these things together.
Me?
And I'm kind of going against type here because usually I would paint these things before I put them together. Because I don't like not being able to like get to little nooks and crannies. But that's fine. I think I'm gonna have more than one set of this anyway because I'm dumb and I'm going to because I just want lots of Nighthawk models. Which means, of course, that if anybody wants to play stupid Stormcast, I'm going to have extra ones of those. Because who wants to play Stormcast? Nobody. Nobody wants
The
to.
same kind of people who want to play Marines. Yep.
Well, with Marines though, I mean, it's like, isn't like the whole
Marines.
the what?
Marines.
Marines? Is that like boring? Is that what it's trying to say?
It's from a web series.
Oh, no. I mean, like I trying to understand what I mean. Isn't like Space Marines? Isn't that like everybody plays in 40K? Or a lot of people?
Death to your false emperor.
The Imperial Guard. Well, I guess that's from Militarum now.
This is how Imperial Guard works. Hey, you there.
I don't know
Yeah?
anything they're talking
There's
about.
Xenos attacking. Yeah? You're big enough to hold a gun. Yeah? Here you go. That way.
Isaac,
Die
this
in the name
is
of the
called a Knight of Shrouds
Quick
on
glory,
on
and
ethereal
hold on long
steed.
enough for the Marines to show
So
up.
this is like the general of the army.
We've
So
sent them to Stressful.
and
Hope you're alive when they get here.
like he has all these special powers. Like he's like I think like his sword is called the Sword of Eons or something like that. He has like
Yeah,
like
from
the causes.
Skylanders?
No, it's not from Skylanders, you weirdo.
What?
You know what? It's not Skylanders.
What?
Also, I've never been a fan of these slotted bases either. I don't know if I'm.
It's a lot of bases.
I would rather just be able to do my own thing and not have to like.
On the stakes, they were all slotted, and it was really annoying.
Especially when they don't even want to fit in the slot.
It wouldn't be difficult to just trim off the slot or the tab and just put them on a regular base.
No, I mean you can, but I don't know. But yeah, like, and I get like, because like you know that like they do this and they make it a snug fit because there's going to be those people out there that aren't going to take it as seriously as some, and they're going to,
Use.
no, they're going to actually take these back out of the bases, you know, so they for like, I don't know, travel.
Store them that way, man.
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is like a super snug fit, and you know, I'm obviously I'm going to glue this guy down, but it's just, yeah, it's I don't know, just not. Pete Shirey, loyal boomer. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
What is that for?
What is up? No.
What's going on?
So with the once again the plastic glue, just gonna put two little things on the sides like that, and
Okay.
oh,
That's the only rules. Everything in your army has to be walkers.
well, thank you, Pete, for stopping by to say hi and saying that I'm beautiful. Which
I'd be fine with that.
Pete, I hope I see you at
Gen
Robot
At Gen Con.
walker technology.
I think that'll be. I know you
Once
like.
I get something
Since you've
right.
you've moved, so for those of you in the chat, Pete Shirey is a bigwig at Cool Mini or Not, and he's a close friend of mine. You know, ding, hit the old bell there. But yeah, so Pete has a job within the hobby like I do, which is super cool.
Cool.
And he's also on my normal Wednesday night show every week, the Alaboom, where we talk about everything and anything that happens to be bugging us at that moment of time. So apparently, my friend Jared over here has some friend of his that listens to us all the time, Pete. I was like, I asked him if the guy was nuts or something, or he would be tuning in every week. But apparently, he tunes in and listens to us talk. So good for him.
Yay!
Ah, hey, Eric, a loyal boomer listener. Lands in a daytime show. Neat. Hey, Eric. I'm just celebrating Soul Wars, and my son here is painting
My blood demons.
his blood demons, and my daughter's across the table from me painting her croc cigars.
Like that.
She doesn't show up on camera because she's a vampire.
Well, no.
And here.
You need to repaint
Here's
this
the
guy.
guy.
I know the things he like. I don't
Here's
know.
the guy
like,
that I'm painting.
when I like paint it and then I wait till it dries and then it's like not there to paint.
Well, you gotta another thin layer, 2 thin coats,
Too thin layers.
2
Really cold
thin
out today?
coats.
Yeah, I've got 2 things.
Too thin coats.
2 thin coats.
Oh, I.
Moony side up.
Wait, does
Bowl
anyone
of float meal in a cup.
wait? Does someone have any coats at fall? I need a coat. Well, I have 2 thin coats.
That works too.
You need to concentrate on what you're doing.
Okay.
Uh,
I can't get killed. Do egg. Move that up.
but
Move it in.
Yeah.
A cup.
so there you go. Sorry, I apologize. This is bad radio since I'm checking my phone, but it did buzz. I just want to make sure that.
Must taste and banana.
But all right. So moving on from the Dead Shrouds and Ethereal Steed Ice, we're going to be making which is that guy up there.
The tallest guy.
Isaac says, "I love eating beef jerky and playing games." Well, I think those are two great things.
Great, amazing things.
Two great things that go great together.
You mean amazing things?
You don't eat beef jerky at all.
I sometimes eat it, but not very common.
No, you don't eat beef jerky.
Actually,
I sometimes eat it. I like the
one
sweet and
good
spicy
thing,
stuff.
which is playing games, and one terrible thing, which is eating beef jerky.
But that's because you don't like beef jerky.
Yeah, because beef jerky is bad.
No.
That's your opinion, though.
Why did this video just get so quiet?
Well, because we're listening to you talk about that you don't like beef jerky.
And it's weird.
You are weird.
Okay.
Everyone likes beef jerky.
Yeah.
I do not like.
Everyone who counts likes beef jerky.
Oh, snap.
I count.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Not anymore.
Because you don't like beef jerky.
Yeah.
So you don't count it.
Everybody. That was another one of those old Simpsons things where it's like, no, that's not.
I know it's from a different show, but
What was it? It was like something with Ned Flanders. It was like everybody loves Ned Flanders. And then Homer popped up and said, "Not me." And I said, "Everybody who counts loves Ned Flanders."
A unicorn with a horn coming through my nose.
Well, it's because
Yeah,
time
it's
doesn't go
amazing.
by in that world.
That's amazing.
Maybe so, maybe.
I think it makes sense.
I think your sister is right.
I don't like beef jerky.
That's fine. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now on to the well, I think I might do Spirit Torment because the Spirit Torment is actually on this sprue, if you will. And I'm gonna start clipping him out. Well, Isaac, you said you love eating your jerky and playing games. What's the last game you played? And what's the last flavor of beef jerky that you ate? If you're still watching, I'd love the answers to those questions. Like the sweet and hot is the one that my wife usually purchases. That's the
yeah, I
one.
like that.
Say what?
I tend to like the peppered.
I like the peppered as well, and I'll have teriyaki every once in a while.
Can I try the
original
teriyaki?
flavors myself.
I like the sweet baby rays.
Although if I have to pick a flavor, it's got to be pepper.
Peppered? Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm forced for a flavor, otherwise I go original.
If you have your druthers, you'll pick peppered.
I had the 7-Eleven brand jerky the other day. It's not good jerky.
7-Eleven. There's still a 7-Eleven in town.
No,
7-Eleven?
we are traveling to Virginia.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I bought it the one stop out and it was really good.
Yes, that was. Jack links the steak jerky.
Best jerky that you'll find is at J&M Meats.
Is the stuff you kill yourself?
Yeah, that's it.
Say what? You mean America? It's pronounced America.
Not American.
America.
Yeah, no, America.
I'm just gonna stop you because this is a G-rated podcast.
Yeah.
Banana.
Wait, the sentence that starts with America.
America.
Do 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 do.
America.
Do 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 do.
Remember the time when we got that chair and he told me that if I was gonna get it, I had to say America while sitting in it.
You wanted you wanted a folding chair that had the American flag on it.
Well, I think Yeah, because it was the company.
And then for whatever reason, you just wouldn't say it
Yeah, I don't remember why.
because you're just being you and being
Just
difficult,
saying America.
and that's what kids do. I'm
Say
going to be
America.
difficult.
Yay!
Let's see here.
Who was last week?
No, it
You
wasn't.
were a baby goat. Yes.
It's very tasty, they said. Where would I find, Eric, where would I find Korean barbecue jersey? And if you say Korea, I'm going to ban you. I want to know where I find, see, now you're telling me something that would taste really good. Now I want to know where I can locate it.
Other than Korea.
Well, you can order it. I mean, like if it's on like Amazon, you can order it. I mean, why not, you know? That's fine.
I think someone said something.
That's why Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore. Did anybody else see that picture they had at the Toys R Us closing, and they had the giraffe guy
And then dress for vacation.
dressed for retirement. He had like the
Hawaiian shirt.
the Hawaiian shirt. And he was gonna retire, and empty and just waving goodbye. I was just like
It was sad.
right in the feels.
The lover said we've all grown up or something on the sign.
I guess they said I guess all the kids have grown up because Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore.
I haven't.
No, I did take the kids in.
I went to Toys R Us as a kid though.
Yeah, as a kid, we didn't have one in town when I was a kid.
I went to at Casey's. Really,
Yeah,
Eric?
it was
Casey's. I can get Korean
Yeah.
barbecue jerky.
Jerky.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm gonna have to.
Go to Casey's.
Gonna have to go to Casey's.
Before I pack this up, does anyone need
I'd like
anything
to try
and
that.
relax?
Sounds good.
I would never.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you one more time. Do your thing and relax. And look, there's more paint on your. This is when a 6-year-old paints.
Oh.
Oh gosh. Just let it sit there.
Okay.
There's more paint on your brush
But
Then
that's
there-
why you don't give them the good brushes.
or the good paints. So I shouldn't say this isn't cheating because this isn't. But I will take my
Banana.
I will take my I will take the paint like whatever. I'll take like a Citadel paint and I'll paint a 2-inch by 2-inch swatch on a piece of paper, and then I take it over to like Home Depot, and then for $4 you can get a giant jug of paint. Yeah, and it isn't, and the thing is that it isn't 100% the same quality, but for my kids and they're doing their armies,
Color
Yeah.
match.
it's perfect.
For when you're doing terrain.
And for terrain perfectly, or I did it for Xandri Dust and Ulthuan Bone, or no, and like something bone or whatever for my like
Oshabi.
120 Oshabi Bone for my 120 Skeleton Warriors, because I wasn't really worried about how
Because you were going to paint them, do a wash, and walk away.
and quick little dry brush with the bone, the Ulthuan Bone, or not Ulthuan Bone, Ushabti Bone.
Ulthuan Gray.
Ulthuan Gray is what I'll use for a dry
I'm
brush
gonna move over
for
here in a minute, honey.
these guys.
Okay.
And then I have stick it on blue. Stick yeah.
But there you go.
Stick it on scale.
You can buy it on Amazon. Golden Island Korean barbecue jerky. I got to remember that.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
And I bet the beef jerky is a mouthful as well.
Oh.
I guess it is going to make your mouth full.
So I was thinking about bases, my night hunts, and I was thinking like, am I gonna like actually do something super involved, or if I was just gonna go, hey, let's put some rocks and then move on.
I think this one's pretty good.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a hold of some of that like still water from Vallejo, and I'm gonna make like murky, swampy bases.
Before you do the Vallejo, look at Woodland Scenics.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it comparable?
That's what I use on all my stuff when I do it. And is Vallejo's a single part product or a 2-part product?
Single part.
That's the big thing for me is I don't want to deal with 2-part products. But Woodland Scenics, you get, the 16-ounce bottle for like
Then if you guys suppose you can go to Hobby Lobby and use the 40% off coupon for it, something like that. Too.
40% off?
40% off, just giving it away. So
Yeah, you can't use it on anything that's already on sale.
Or on clearance.
yeah, I mean these are just begging to break. Just please put too much pressure on this,
Yeah.
so it can just snap
It's
off.
kind of like, have you seen for Death
Why would they
the Mortarks?
Yeah,
Where it's the big horse and it's just down here on this thing, and you're like,
on two little pegs. You're like, and you want to put like,
here's my demon prince.
yeah, and you just want to put more. You want to put more scenic stuff on it just to hold it up or something like that.
Yeah, typically what I've seen people do if I had this is I would put a larger rock just so that if he bends forward, his toes will hit the rock first.
Yeah.
But I use resin bases for all of my guys.
Oh, very cool. But yeah.
All right, my ride's here. I'll be back.
Well, you know what? I gotta pre-order a bunch of stuff through you today anyway, there, Rich. So
Well, there's an extra light meeting at 4. I'll be here before then. So if you leave before then, just get it done with somebody up front. So Alex can pull up the website and all that jazz.
cool. I appreciate that. I gotta get the Battle Tome. Comes out next week, and then there's a bunch more models too. So
You're a bad
the more talk of grief or whatever it is. I am a Battle Tome.
You are a battle.
Eric posted something and then retracted. So anyway, so I'm putting together these, and if anybody, like I said, if anybody has any questions at all about anything, they can ask away. And I put down a sprue somewhere.
Is it
And,
is it
um,
under?
What does it look like?
Is it here?
Oh
Is it? What does it look like?
no, there it is. These things they match together. No, I gotta. For some reason, like they have this little tiny skull, like it's right there.
Why
that
would
you're
they
supposed to-
do that?
I don't know.
Are you cleaning up your mold lines and?
I do it after I put them together. But yes, I scrape off the mold lines. But there's so much, like I said, with these push to fit models.
The seams get created when you push them together.
Oh yeah, and you need to, and like I said, it is like everybody on God's green earth is like, you need to, you'll have to go in and use green stuff
Well,
to
if
fill
you're
in.
using a super glue to put them together, rather than using green stuff, you can actually use baking soda where the joints are. It
Yeah, I've heard of that.
works really well, and it sounds perfectly smooth.
Well, la-di-da, commission level painter Jason,
Just trying to
lording over your superior knowledge on me.
Well, I'm not trying to lord it over. I'm just trying to help.
I use plastic putty on everything.
Eric, yes, I have had several guys break on me. My old spirit hosts, which are just these spindly ghost guys, those broke many times over. I kind of gave up on them at one point. But I went to, so I saw somebody that did this, and I was like, I'll try that out. And what they did is that they basically have these tubs that you can get from anywhere. Not like the big giant tubs, like I'm going like this, but like the smaller tubs that are like only about like that. And what you
Bathtub?
no, just like and the
Okay,
ones that
good.
lock really well, and then you just put magnet sheets on the bottom. You put magnets on the bottom of your bases, and then they stick right on there. And then like, so when you're carrying them, there's no foam or anything to compress on anything, and they won't move around at all. So I did that, and I've had much better luck ever since I did that. I am not a fan of these bases that have these obviously injection points on them. That's annoying as hell. But anyway, so this is the Spirit Torment. Apparently he has locks. He has spectral keys for said locks. And I'm sure he's doing some evil and awful. All right, we're gonna move on to the Guardian of Souls now.
Thank you, sir.
Guardian of Souls.
I'm gonna make the Croxagor's eyes red.
Can you get them on the bottom?
Well, how about you finish painting? Did you try to do dry brush already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, possible, but use your.
And you're not getting enough of your dry brush off of your thing to.
You just like through a cross frame
What?
on the-
Well, I can see that the dry brush paint is smearing into the so like your blue wasn't actually dry when you actually went to go dry brush. So you're gonna have to go back over with the Stegodon blue. What are you painting right now?
I was painting with tongue and I grabbed some brush.
I have a preference.
Just sit out.
Patience, friend.
Patience.
Well, what?
What?
Well, what?
Wait, what?
All right, that's fine. All right, so now moving on to the Guardian of Souls. And then I'm going to make the Lord Executioner.
Ooh, cool.
I agree.
I mean,
This is the event center that is located at Paradox Comics and Cards. It for the longest. When did he open up the event center? It was like 5 years ago now or so, right? Maybe longer.
It's gotta be close. For that, yeah.
Ugh, hate little tiny
Parts.
attachment points on these things.
You should try Malifaux sometime.
I've seen Malifaux, and while I like I like the setting a great deal, and I like the system, the models are.
Good
No,
news.
no.
When you have some, Jason. Yeah, have you try and hand me that? It's better. They can't
But
quite
yes,
do it.
so like what I meant by small little attachment parts, like
Almost.
this was attached to like his arm, like, and that was one of the attachment points for the mold, which you have to be really careful when you take that off that you don't break the model in some way when you take them apart.
I really like the light that this gives off.
That is a large lamp you have there.
Yes, but it's great.
Every lamp should be large.
Well, it isn't so much the lamp as it is the bulb, right? Or is that one of those LED things that?
Here, I'm gonna flash it kind of this way so you can see.
All right, I'm blind.
Yeah. But it also has a magnifier on the top.
and you can switch it so it's like a floor lamp too.
Yeah,
Okay.
came with extra posts.
My where'd you get that?
Hobby Lobby.
Oh,
So
very
What?
good.
what?
Well, on sale right now. They're normally 100.
Say what?
What?
My big thing with the magnifying glass is that it magnifies everything. So I don't know. It's like for me, it's tough to use.
Yeah, because it magnifies your fingers and the paintbrush, not just the thing.
Yeah. Now, if there's some way that you could have like the tiniest brush ever.
This is molding too different.
Where?
But yeah, that's one of the things too. Is like you always think that like, oh, like when you have a little tiny part on the thing, you're trying to paint it, and on the mini, and then like you're like, oh, if I could see this, oh, work perfectly, and then you do, but then it's like, oh, well, that's not helping at all because everything is huge.
No, but I'm blind.
Well, didn't help that Jared, pointed his thing in my
Rampant.
face. So now all I see is a ring of lights whenever I blink. I do remember when I finally decided I was going to get LASIK surgery. One of the things one of my friends
LASIK.
said, LASIK. Is that
LASIK?
when I got LASIK done? One of my friends said, make sure you paint all the models you want to paint before you get it done. Because he said basically you're not going to be able to see anything up close. Like I'd have to wear reading glasses. But I actually, for anybody who's curious, I got what's called monovision done. Hey, Dan. I got what's called monovision done, and that means one of my eyes sees up close and one of my eyes sees far away, and your brain kind of switches back and forth to which one's dominant. And I've not had a problem at all. I haven't had to wear reading glasses or anything when I'm painting minis. So if you're a mini painter and you are ever worried about you don't have to be concerned about that as a situation. Or at least I've not had a problem. I guess I shouldn't, say it's never going to be a problem for anybody. But I definitely have not had an issue with it. All right. No, I have not, and I've been very lucky. That's my thing with getting LASIK done. I've told anybody who'll listen that if they wear glasses, they should get it done. Jason, go get it done.
Jason, go get it done.
Because it's one of those things where it's like,
hey, you over there, get it done.
It's few things in this world are like, you categorize as life changing, but this was life changing. And like it was one of those things where it's like, wow, I can see my kids when I go swimming because I have to take my instead of just fleshy blobs out in the pool and stuff like that. So and I still, over a year afterwards, I still I'll get in the shower and I'll like, oh my god, I'm still wearing my glasses because I get in the shower. No, I can actually just see,
Wait, I just wear my glasses.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird, Jared.
Yep, it's weird.
Did you expect anything less?
Well, I guess not. Your corn demons are coming along awesomely, buddy.
Very nicely.
Yes. So my son is
Painting a ton of me.
and what's cool, buddy, is like you see how so this paint, like this is like like I said, you'll notice how, and you can't quite see, but like it looks very almost like pinkish, magenta-ish a little bit.
But when you paint it, it's red,
but when the paint dries, you can kind of see it has this really nice
pink
blood god red color to it, which is really nice.
Because it's supposed to be a blood god color because they're demons.
Because they're the demons of Khorne, the blood god, who sits upon his skull throne.
Khorne is their eater.
Do they eat corn?
First god to tempt the space marines.
See, I'm a Sigmar guy, so I don't really care about space marines.
And
Why doesn't Nagash exist in the in 40K?
States.
I feel like
Because it's not the same world.
But Khorne's there.
Demons exist outside of our current reality, so they can verge between two different ones.
Yeah, but
They're
so in the
in
forest.
Seraphon are
no.
also demons. So.
Demons.
Yeah, Seraphons are daemons. Why aren't they in the 40K world?
Because we wiped them out during the purging.
Good. Demons live in the underworld.
You can't wipe out
and
the
they can
celestial
come
star daemons.
into the.
Because they're stars, and I doubt you could explode.
Yeah, they're made out of stars.
So, unless if you're
Don't ask
exploding.
me.
I
I don't follow the ridiculous lore of Sigmar.
like
Isn't everything that Sigmar solved by opening a new door anyway?
you can't just solve everything by opening up another chamber. Open another
Opening
chamber.
a door.
Open the chamber.
Just open the
secret?
door.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
suppose.
like this too, Jason, down here.
No, that's not the door.
What's a door?
Just make it do something.
Just painted my arm.
Looks like you're bleeding now or have a cut.
I'll cut you. I'll cut you for real. Who remembers the original House Party movie? Where
I did. I don't, because I never watched it.
where the line was somebody made fun of somebody's mama, and he said, "Oh, my mama's dead. Now I get to cut you. Them's the rules." Just
Them's the rules.
just whatever. Bertie Mac, rest in peace. That might have been House Party 2. Why do I remember that? But yeah. Ooh, my mama's dead. Now I gets to cut ya.
Cut ya.
Them's the rules.
Them's
As he's taking out a knife.
Or an
Of course.
X-Acto blade.
that of course he has in his pocket or something.
Or an X-Acto
It's
blade.
a double-sided thing.
It's a double-sided thing. Well, use only one side of it then, or use another one that has only one side.
I know, I'm just showing it to you.
I know.
If
Just
you're
put
a
it
member
back.
of the 40K club, you get a little card that says you get to carry a knife with you. Seriously? Yep.
Now I
Why do you have to carry a knife with you?
Because you're going to the club to work on models or something?
Oh, I thought maybe it's because bloodthirsty jerks.
Or trying to get your models.
So,
Any blade other than you buy
Riley.
and taking it home for your
Yeah.
kitchen or something, yeah.
Well, and I think if it's Scott, you can. There's stuff you
Hand
can
me one of those
do
guys.
for your signature yourself.
no. Hand me one of your cross cigars. That like, are you sure you're painting these?
Yes. I'm positive.
You need
These don't look pink.
All right.
What are you
So-
doing for a weapon?
Hand me.
He's got his
No,
weapon.
hand me the stink blue, the stuff that you're going to be using, and then
The stink blue.
yes, and then get me a little bit of the
Not as
of
awesome as Thunderhammer's Storm
Oh,
Shield.
yeah.
I can do that.
the paper towel.
Well,
So I'm gonna my daughter hasn't dry brushed in a long while, so I'm gonna just edumacate her again.
Edumacate.
All right. So don't worry about.
I'm sorry, 7.
Take a
Because there's
take a
two
good
bullets.
chunk of this blue.
Because there's no reason.
You really want to like get it loaded up on the brush.
Okay, so get a ton.
You're not doing this right now. I'm doing this for your daughter, my daughter, your sister.
You're
So then you jab it in the brush.
Do the thing that you're not supposed to do with brushes.
Well, because you're beating the tar out of this one.
the tar.
So it's
So when you brush, you're like so. Then when you see, there's hardly any
Mhm.
paint is coming out. Now with these, remember, because these are like the really soft ones, you're just going to
Banana.
barely drag it over. And you're almost applying no pressure. Just kind of going back and
Just
forth like
barely
that.
tap it.
Now I'm going to show the camera so you can see where that lighter blue is popping on the spots. So I'm going to hand this back to her real quick. And what you're going to do then is you're going to see all those little raised areas pop up.
There were the 3 that I gave you.
There you go. And for those of you wondering, what we were using just there was, yes, a makeup brush, because you can get cheap makeup brushes off of eBay, and they were made out of soft bristles, and they work fantastic as dry brushes.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
You mean fantastic?
Masking. Where are you, Darren?
Because I said it. Everyone
All
died.
right. So
No.
here's the Guardian
Yes.
of
Is that a
Everyone that
Like
Yeah.
almost nobody does that anymore.
These
well,
are dwarves
everybody
that
who
couldn't-
counts
That's correct.
stabs.
Well, they're not. It's another dwarf, but okay.
And everybody who counts likes beef
But that's the
jerky.
point. That's the arm,
And
right?
everybody who counts
Dwarf
stabs.
things, right? No, it's not even for that. I just used the parts.
And
So
that
dad
Uh,
doesn't
what's it for?
count
is
Necromunda.
it.
the Guardian of Souls.
Do you have flying vehicles?
Now you're making
Yeah.
another guy.
Didn't know you could. Well, under the old rules, which is what Jason
Woodchuck.
said.
Woodchuck.
Now I'm going to make
Mainly because of
the
the-
Lord Executioner. Lord Executioner.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
Interested in,
Woodchuck,
Some
woodchuck,
conversion.
A woodchuck, woodchuck, also wood, woodchuck, woodchuck, wood.
What do you
No,
have?
he would chuck as much as
I
woodchuck.
have a
chuck,
bunch of
woodchuck,
knowledge reviews that I want to-
Oh, I forgot.
Whenever I empty a
A
screw,
woodchuck,
I always
woodchuck
make
is
sure
much wood as a
that
woodchuck, woodchuck.
There's no extra wood.
there's nothing that I've forgotten. But this one is empty, so I can throw it back there. in the
Yay, you made
garbage. Yay, I made it.
It's on the list of
Yay,
things
Dad's
I
good
want
at
to get taken care
basketball.
of for him.
I wasn't bad at basketball back in the day, as they say.
Like my ale stuff and stuff.
Wasn't great, but I wasn't bad.
You weren't right.
You're better than me,
I'm also
And
tall.
I think he's.
which is why I said
I think he's the same as me.
20. I think I'm gonna need
really,
C24.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. Okay, do you want me to show you?
Okay,
No.
Mr. Cena.
Oh, Caleb just said it.
Vaguely like a glowing
I
lantern.
said John Cena. Not. I said
No, you did not say that.
We are wrestling. Well, I should say my daughter used to say she liked wrestling, but she doesn't like it anymore.
I
I
lose interest.
Yeah.
We're going to WW Live tomorrow.
And she's not gonna go.
Yeah, from the Fargo Dome, right?
Yep.
I don't even know who wrestles anymore.
That's well, you knew John Cena. You just were like, oh, John Cena.
I know John Cena because Next Level Painting uses that as his subscriber music.
I don't even know what that is.
And what's this?
The alert that plays every time someone subscribes to him on Twitch.
Bum, ba, bum.
Oh.
It just was bum, ba, bum.
Think of like if you took
I could play on the piano.
Randy Savage and told him to paint miniatures, what that show would be like.
Oh,
Well, we
that would have
don't,
been cool.
we don't knock the Savage.
What if Rusev
No, I'm
painted
not. It's awesome the character that he's put
and
together.
break them?
But it's totally a character. The guy's nothing
Macho
like
Man
that.
Randy Savage.
Did you know him personally?
Which guy?
Randy Savage.
No, I know the guy I'm talking about.
It's
Hope
Macho
you know it
Man.
all there, kiddo.
Yeah, no one being
I would be
know-it-all.
super hyped if I actually knew Randy Savage.
I met Hulk Hogan, but I never met Savage, and that makes me sad because Savage was the best. Savage is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Macho
Yes, definitely.
The Macho.
I got to see
Bone
Savage.
saws ready.
Savage and Hogan live once.
That seems amazing. That'd be awesome.
Unfortunately, they weren't in the ring at the same
Amazing.
time. That's the only downfall to that. Because it wasn't a match between the two of them in the ring.
That sounds yeah. But yeah, well, there you go. Hey,
Hi.
there he is.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
How much?
I'm painting miniatures
You are, and you're doing a heck of a job too.
Yeah, we're doing practice.
Oh,
with corn demons.
we can move our stuff out of the way for you.
As opposed to soybean demons.
Soybeans.
Soybeans.
Green is people.
Gotta get that candy corn look.
Candy corn demons.
I want to paint candy corn demons.
What?
What?
Go to a tournament like right around Halloween, be like, how's it going, guys?
I got my
I've been to tournaments where I've seen people that have painted, purposely painted their orc army like day glow
And,
neon colors, like
I
just
like that thing.
bright pink and green.
Oh yeah.
and
And
banana
people
high
color.
visibility neon
the,
green.
the Hello Kitty Necrons.
Dude, those things are awesome. I have seen them in person.
I just have to do like 2 more.
Sweet.
Just like 2 more.
Actually, 2 more. Wait, 3
That's something
more.
that you're gonna say a lot.
It's like 2 more.
I can show you my list.
Hello.
But I just have a couple more days.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today?
Not too bad.
Tired.
Tired?
Yeah, we had
Over for a sleepover
Western
last night.
Taekwondo, the sleepover,
Yeah.
like, wait 2 hours longer than it should have been for consciousness.
So I'm live streaming, so I just no, like a member of my D&D group just showed up with his family, and I told him he should show up here and do some modeling, and I think he showed up. You've got like a package of old
Miniatures.
So the Warhammer stuff is quite an investment to get into, so I figured the kids could start on something low key. Hey,
I'm making
big stack of cash.
you wanted to try paint something else, so you found one that you liked.
Very nice.
What did you find?
Was it?
Umber Hulk, very nice. Well,
Thank you, sir.
Caleb, will you grab that bag that's in that chair next to you and hand it to me so I can get it out of the way? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
There's a knife right there. That would be surrendering to the tape.
How's it going, Drew?
Open it up.
My next batch of faces showed up already.
How are your blood demons going, Caleb?
Good. I only have 3 left.
Yeah.
That guy you might need to put a second coat on.
Power cable.
Did you just dry brush his demon with a?
No, I just pointed it. I didn't dry brush it.
So also the reason I know Andrew is no, he plays D&D with us, but also I met him through the fact that his son and my kids are in the same taekwondo. So they can't see you. I'm all my camera work is focused right here in front of me, but they can hear your voice. So if you say hello, then you can yes, you can broadcast out the interwebs. All right, so this is the beginning of the Lord Executioner. He's got the Hangman's noose there. He's got a big giant axe. I've always wondered how spirits are able to carry weapons around with them. I've also wondered if I'm gonna, like, when I paint these guys, am I gonna make the whole thing like spirit? Like, so am I gonna make spirit weapons and stuff like that? I've always thought that maybe that's how it should look, you know, because that seems more realistic. I do really dig, and I hope you can see that. But if you look at his face, if it can come into focus.
But now I'm just doing.
And of course, it won't come into focus. But like he's got the executioner's hood on, as you can see. And then, but then, like, there's this one, actually, the model is really well done, in my opinion, because there's these very, very slight indentations where you can see the face on there. Unfortunately, like I said, you probably can't see it because of the video.
Is this better?
Let me see. Well, last time I checked, it's your model, right? So what do
Yes,
you
I'm
think?
asking if it's better than my.
Well, do you think that? Well, I mean, you need to get over here more. But I mean, do you think that this is much better? Do you think it's better?
Maybe? I'm asking you because I don't.
It's your model, and you're going to be fielding this as part of your army. So, do you think it looks better now?
I hadn't found it. So I'm like, oh,
What's your opinion? You don't have an opinion?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, then I don't know what to tell you if you don't have an opinion. I think it looks good.
What are we talking about?
Like I said, you just need to get a lot of paint, a lot of paint in there, and then just drag it over, and just a little bit of pressure, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the driver. All right. Well, I don't even know who's watching right now, but thanks for watching. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff I'm doing, or games in general, or whatever, ask away. I'll be happy to answer those, as I said. So now, what's the last little bit that I need? Oh, I need to put. See, okay. So these like spirit hosts that they add to a lot of these models, and these are really annoying. What's really weird about the Nighthaunt is that they've released all these new models for Nighthaunt. And Nighthaunt had a fair amount of
Tomahawks are a great example of why you should go sharp.
Nighthaunt had a fair amount of models before. I mean, like, they had hex rates, they had spirit hosts. You know, they had some cool stuff going on. But now with all these new models, like the older models, you know, like Banshees, Cairn Wraiths, things like that. With all these old models, what's happening is that I think that people are kind of going to end up abandoning them a lot. They're not going to use them just because we've kind of outgrown them. But Spirit Hosts used to be like this really important model. What are we? Rust. Okay, so this is somebody who knows what he's doing. Painting. This is for Necromunda, and like, yeah, just this is the commission level painter that I was talking about. Like, he's been working on this as long as I've been talking and getting almost nothing done. He's been doing this, and I mean, this looks fantastic. Think Noodle Cart from well, Fifth Element, or I was gonna say Blade Runner. Yeah, same kind of deal. And like that's something he kit bashed. Like that is something he created himself out of polystyrene. And I'm like, I should just pay this guy $200 and have him paint my Nighthaunts, and then you know, then be done. Walk away. Oh, Jason does commission work. You have a website, Jason?
Not yet.
You need a website, Jason. What do you charge for a model, or what do you charge for your time?
For general good quality miniatures, I like to do cost of the box. So
cost of the box.
So say it's you know, a box of infantry for that retails for $40, I'll do it to a decent tabletop standard for the $40.
I got you. Well, you're underselling your abilities then.
I didn't
Oh, for higher quality painting, like the display quality type stuff is, going to be higher.
Yeah.
More time involved. But basic tabletop for me is, getting the general
when you got your guy, and now you can just clean
blocks
it,
of color on there, a little bit of dry
Oh, look at
brushing,
you
and a
guys.
wash.
You have the gum and the stick and everything. That's awesome.
Like I said, I wrapped up years ago and then never got around.
Sorry, I apologize. Jason, keep talking. So cost of the box, but for display quality.
For display quality, it really depends on the piece and how much painting is involved. Like if there's freehand work, that kind of stuff.
So what do you think you charge, like $15 an hour kind of thing, or like $20 an hour? What would you consider you?
In the past, if I was charging by the hour, maybe $2 or $3 an hour.
Oh my gosh! You realize that's below like minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that you were.
I guess I just have I just don't think that people actually want to pay me for what my time is actually worth.
Well, that's not. You should charge what your time's worth. See, now I'm already saying, well, let's see. Half of this box is $80. $80 to have you paint all of my night haunt to like decent. I'm like, $80. You say that's actually a pretty good deal. Do you assemble them or do you need them assembled when you get them?
I can do either. Assembly is an additional charge.
Fair. Well, I think you're under.
But then again, I also go through with the inventory files and clean up all the mold lines and everything else too.
Oh, jeez. See, you are undercharging for your time. You should.
I honestly don't know what to charge for it.
Well, I mean, that's a good question, but I mean. And I feel like there's somebody out there who regularly uses your abilities. They're like, "Shut up, Lance!" It's like, you keep your mouth.
I still need to hire him for my stuff.
You keep your mouth shut, Mister Smarty. That don't know. But anyway, but thankfully, like the Spirit Hosts, if you ever see the Spirit Host model, the original Spirit Host model, are well known for being a chore to put together. And so, but these with their spirits, they get added onto the back. There actually was a peg and something where you. But once again, like I'm gonna just look at this. Yeah, that's. I feel like if I jostle this too much, this thing's just gonna snap in half. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I get worried a little bit as far as those things are concerned. All right, so looking at this model, this guy will go over here, and then there is a little skull or something that goes in that spot. So it's located there.
It's a mortgage. It's great. So it's like.
Yeah, is it okay if I use some of your
5 or 7 you could get.
corn red?
And then I just add.
What do you need the red for?
I was gonna do the mouth.
Well, why you haven't even done a wash or anything?
Oh yeah, because we don't have any shit.
I understand that, but we could go over to the store and get the shade. The mouse should go last, Rel, because that is a very, very small detail. Yes.
35 bucks a piece.
Yes.
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 So, besides, do you think all the dry brushing is done?
No.
And also, you have your greedy gold there, which you could use to.
I'm making my demon.
You can use that for your weapons. And do they have any armor on them? Crocscores don't have any armor.
No, they don't.
They're just big giant ogre
Dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
Things.
The white from Slowfuse Gaming?
Yep. Perfect.
You gonna make it to D&D tonight, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Where is it? Is it at our house? Or?
Uncle Andy's.
Especially mixes it with a bunch of stuff.
Gotcha.
And
We get to attack the leader of the cult tonight, and I get to decide whether or not I'm going to try to kill the god that walks among us, and then basically then be killed by the other players in the party. But no, I won't do that. Our D&D campaign right now, we rescued the think Queen Amidala type of aspect, where like the well, here I'll show you. So that is the Lord Executioner. And I apologize for the wobbly nature of these things. But I like this model a great deal. I don't know. I think his War Scroll doesn't really give me enough for the points, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I'll end up fielding this, but I do really, really like this model. I think it looks really cool. Once again, though, it's all like this is completely supported by this, like the handle of this axe, meaning that that is just begging to break. Like, please let us snap in half. We want to do it so badly.
We want to die.
Are you thinning that paint out?
Yes.
All right.
I think I accidentally put too much on.
Well, then don't use a paper towel because
I know, but I just put it on.
use dry clean up. Well, first of all, you're using way too big of a brush for that. You should be using a much smaller brush. Secondly, after you dry it off in the paper towel. You can put it down. The croc square is not going to go anywhere.
Do you think I'm ready for the next color?
This is probably a bit more appropriate.
I think I'm ready for the next color.
Well, I'm seeing you should go through. My son's been just burning through these Khorne demons like crazy. So you should go through all these places where you still see the black, and then you should repaint and get those, get color in the spots where you can see where the black is, and then you can
get to next color.
Yeah, and then what we're gonna do then is I'm probably gonna go and pick you up a pot of Mephiston Red is what it's called. And then we're gonna go over a lot of the stuff and highlight. So anyway, there you go. That was that. So I've been live now for a couple hours, and I really appreciate everybody taking the time to listen in and ask questions and whatever. I have a ton of these Grimghast Reapers and Chain Rasp Horde and Glaive Wraith Stalkers to put together, and I'm pretty sure I'm boring a lot of you. So I'm gonna call it quits for the stream right now. Hopefully, when I come back, what I'll have is some of these guys primed, and if I'm able to come back, I'll have a lot of these guys primed, and I'll actually show some of the painting. I think I'm going to start with this guy as the guy I'm going to start, just because I like the fact that he's got the two old locks, and he's got the keys behind him. So I really dig that. But there you go. Thanks a lot for taking the time. Thanks for the questions, and thanks for what have you. And until next time, I'll see you if you watch the live stream. I'll see you on the Alboom on Wednesdays. And thank you all for watching. The Alboom. You want to say goodbye there, Caleb? Quick?
Bye.
Bye.
That was my daughter's hand.